So, I mean, what should a homeowner be concerned about when hiring an inspector?
There's a lot of door-to-door people that sell pest control. They are not certified termite inspectors or pest control people. There's a lot of companies out there that'll prey on elderly ladies, and they'll tell them that they have an infestation, and then they're selling them termite stations, which I'm not a big fan of to begin with. If you're getting a bid for $2,200, then that's not good. That's way too much. Termite treatments do not cost that much nowadays.
Welcome to Lawrence Real and Local, Keeping It Real podcast, presented to you by the Lawrence Board of Realtors. We are your go-to source for all things real estate in Lawrence, Kansas. I'm Lexie Haskin with Flint Hills Mortgage.
And I'm Emily Robertson with McGrew Real Estate. Together, we're here to make the journey to homeownership a breeze. Join us as we share insider insights, expert advice, and a dose of fun along the way.
Well, welcome to Lawrence Real and Local Keeping It Real podcast with the Lawrence Board of Realtors. We are joined today with David Roubison with Laser Pest Inspection.
Welcome.
We're happy to have you here.
Excited about it.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, sweet. Well, today we're just going to kind of go over the importance of pest inspections and termite control and just maintaining for a pest-free home and just learn about some latest techniques and everything that's going on. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you, your company, how'd you get into this, and maybe a little bit about your little furry friend.
Yeah, definitely. And my furry friend she's referring to is my termite sniffing canine. So that's kind of what separates my company from other companies. So we do actually have two active termite sniffing dogs, one in Kansas City and one in Lawrence, that we've been running since 1998. So the company was founded by my uncle. He started the business, and he brought me in. I would say like probably 4 years of him doing it. And I graduated high school, and he said, hey, come work for me. And I worked for him for 10 years, and I took over the business and been running it for 12 years now. And so 22 years of experience of doing termite inspections and pest control and termite mitigation.
So, I mean, you must love it then.
I do love my job. Yeah, you get to talk to people, agents, realtors. You get to new home buyers. There's always something cool and new every day that you find in the field. So, yeah, I do love my job.
Yeah. So, I mean, kind of getting into it a little bit, what are some potential risks and damages just associated with untreated termite infestations?
Yeah, there's quite a bit actually. Without getting early detection, you're risking a lot of damage behind walls. So like every house has sheetrock, and you can't always see termites. And so they're chewing up on your windowsill, your seal board of your basements, on the backside of your front stoop. And a lot of basements are finished off. And if you're not in a basement, then you're in a slab or a crawl space, and you're not always seeing signs of them, and they can do quite a bit of damage. So I think there's quite a bit of risk there that, you'll start seeing signs. And then by the time you do start seeing signs, that there's probably going to be a lot of structural damage to begin with. So, and a lot of structural damage being like, some studs being replaced and floor joists. So, yeah.
So can you explain the process of like a thorough inspection and how that goes?
Yeah, definitely. So a thorough inspection would be going in visually, looking everywhere with a flashlight. You're looking at all the sheetrock, the trim boards, ceilings, and just trying to identify any kind of exit holes or bubbling out that termites do when they're chewing on walls. And then you're also, going through visually everywhere, exterior-wise, looking around the foundation, making sure there's no mud tubes coming up on the exterior of it. And
can you explain what that is?
Yeah,
mud tubes. Yeah, so mud tubes, termites create. They're blind, and they follow their scent. So they create this mud tube to kind of protect them from other pests such as ants or other bugs or frogs love to eat them too, and like just prey. So a little mud tube up against your house, and they create this moisture inside that to block them from the sun, because the sun will just evaporate them because they're made of methane.
Oh.
And so that's why they build their mud tubes, is kind of to protect themselves and to also be able to follow a trail in and out. And these mud tubes kind of look like almost like a tree branch kind of slapped up against your house, but it'll be mud. You swipe it and you'll see that it's kind of like a tube, and so that's why they call them mud tubes.
Oh my gosh. So, I mean, the fact that they'll just dissolve from the sun, I mean, that's either like vampire stuff right there.
That is.
Yeah.
Or like a troll ghoul. I mean, I'm showing some geek in me right now, but I mean, that's That's
pretty
some
cool.
mythical
Yeah,
stuff.
it
Yeah.
is. It's when you're made of methane, I mean, you're basically gas, right? So if you're out in the sun, it's just kind of like you evaporate. So we'll like set some out on the sidewalk and stuff, and it doesn't take long for the sun, especially if it's hot out, to just see them evaporate. I'll carry some termites around with me in a film capsule to kind of train the dog periodically. And if I don't put moisture in there and keep them alive and stuff, they'll just evaporate inside there.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I think we need a video of this or something. I think you should like create a
Right.
video and just to share it.
Here's how termites.
Yeah.
Termites are actually pretty fascinating and stuff. A lot of people don't know that they actually poop in each other's mouth, and that's how they feed the colony and stuff. So it's kind of gross, but they live.
Yeah.
Yeah, they also live 35 feet underneath the ground. You know, that's where their
Wow.
colonies are. You know, ant colonies you see kind of like above ground, kind of. You know, but they go underneath about maybe 4 inches and stuff. But termites go really far down in the ground.
Huh.
Yeah.
And there's only a certain time of year where they do come up, correct?
Well,
I mean,
the workers are always coming up. The workers and soldiers, there's always, one soldier per 3 workers. The workers are coming up, they're eating the wood, and then they're going back down to the colony to feed the colony. So the ones that you're talking and referring about are the seasonal ones like we're having right now. They're called the swarmers. Those are the ones that come up, and they're designed to go fly and start a new colony. Their wings fall off, they drop, they start a new colony and stuff. So those are the ones that most people identify termites by having them in their house, because they have all of a sudden all these, winged insects inside there, and like, what are these things? And then most people get on their phone and look on Google and see that they are termites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So,
Wow.
okay, they evaporate with the sun. So are they nocturnal? Do they travel at night if they're going to be flying around?
So the swarmers are different. So they're not going to
Okay.
evaporate the same way, right? Because they're going to be the reproductive ones. So they're flying off to start new colonies, but they are trying to get into the ground as quick as possible. So they're not going to evaporate by flying in the sun and stuff. It's the workers, the ones that are breaking down the nucleus in the wood, that are the ones that have the methane inside of them, and those are the ones that can evaporate in the sun.
I
so
mean,
interesting.
we're only 6 minutes in, and I've already
Yeah.
learned so
Mind's
much.
blown already.
Absolutely.
I just can't get past the whole like sun thing for some reason. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I am in shock right now.
Yeah.
I don't even know where we're at with the questions. I'm just like so stumped.
Yeah.
Okay, Emily.
I'll go for it. So aside from termites, what are some other common pests that homeowners should be vigilant about?
Yeah, definitely. So when we're also doing our termite inspection, we're not just looking for termites. Other pests that you'd be concerned with are other wood-destroying insects, and those are going to be carpenter bees, which chew up people's decks. They can chew up your soffits in your house. They kind of just bore this little pin-sized hole inside your wood, and then they start going sideways and laying their larvae, and their larvae starts eating everything sideways, and they can do some serious damage. Another one would be carpenter ants. I would say they're the least destructive ones. They can destroy trees typically, and that's where they can be the most destructive. They do get inside moisture wood inside people's houses, and so moisture wood's already destroyed anyway, and they're just kind of like nesting in it, so it's already been really destroyed. So we find that carpenter ants aren't the most destructive ones. They're really more destructive towards trees than as opposed to, being a really destructive thing to a house. Another one would be powder post beetles. A lot of people don't know those, but if you see those bullet hole looking things on pine trees and stuff, and you see the sap coming out of there, so they can destroy trees. Their larvae is eating trees, and they can destroy trees. So a lot of people don't know when we're doing termite inspections, we're also looking at your trees too, because those are a costly thing for you to have. It costs thousands of dollars to cut them down, and then it costs thousands of dollars to replace them. So it can be a huge expense. So other than the wood-destroying insects, we are also looking for mouse droppings, rat infestations. We're looking in your attic and stuff. And then there's also, brown recluse are the most common one that people don't like to hear and stuff. And I got a fun fact for you.
I hate spiders.
I got a fun fact for you about brown recluse. A lot of people don't know that their fangs are actually too small to actually just walk across you and bite you and stuff. You have to be pressed against them to actually get bitten.
Oh my God. I like it.
You shouldn't be freaked out. You should be okay. It's because they
should
can't
be
bite
okay.
you.
I don't just like the thought of them crawling on me or even being like near me.
Spiders.
I was near a huge spider a couple weeks ago on my couch, and
Oh, that's
I was
scary.
across the room in 0.0 seconds, like no time at all.
So they give you the creeps, like the.
I can't do it. Like even just like I've just felt this ice go through my veins.
That's how I
Everybody-
feel about snakes. When I see a snake, believe it or not, I hate. I'm like,
Really?
definitely, I'd rather see a lion than a snake. I can't stand snakes. I'm just like, get me away from that thing. They look so creepy.
I mean, people listening to this know our kryptonite now. Emily,
Yeah.
it's your turn
Yeah.
now.
Oh no, I don't want to be taken down with it.
Yeah. You got to have something that freaks you out. What is it?
I don't like spiders. Spiders are mine too.
They're
freak me
your
out.
too.
I'd rather see a snake.
And on that note, that's why I love women, because you guys all hate spiders, and that keeps me in business. So,
Give you the call. We're like, we think we have a spider
Yeah.
infestation.
yeah.
And you're like, okay,
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
whatever.
It's
Sounds-
like
sounds
always
good.
like to throw that out at the end of the inspection is like, hey, I do offer pest control service, and I did see some spiders downstairs, so you know feel free to call me. And I'm
Oh, yeah.
directly looking at the wife typically and stuff. But
You're like looking directly
yeah,
at
like
her.
there was brown recluse downstairs. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
yeah. But you'd be surprised how many men like I'll get calls from their wives, and they'll be like, all right, my husband. I was like, you just want to tell him to smash it? And oh, he's definitely scared of him. He can't he can't do nothing about that. I am the one that has to deal with the spiders. So there are some men out there that are scared.
So when you do, for spiders, do you also do spray around the house and stuff like that? Or how do you
Yeah.
handle that?
Yeah, you spray inside and out. You're hitting the baseboard. So, like, here's the thing about spiders, and a lot of people should know when you're hiring a pest control company and you see a spider after they sprayed. Well, we're not spraying your walls and your ceilings, okay? We're spraying the floor where they typically crawl. So
Because it's around
sometimes,
the borders.
yeah, we're spraying the baseboards. You're not spraying directly the baseboards, but kind of up close against the baseboards where spiders like to crawl, and that's where most insects and bugs will crawl to, and that's why spiders are there. So that's where you're spraying, and then you're spraying in a spray outside around the base to try to prevent them from coming in too. And if they do, then they get through that spray and they die.
Okay, I think we're going to talk after this.
Yeah. Well, sticky traps are really great too. Okay, sticky traps go a long way when you're dealing with spiders too. And
My dad loves sticky traps.
yeah, they're awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some proactive measures homeowners can do to avoid an infestation?
Yeah, for termites, I'm assuming we're talking about here, right? Proactive. Yeah. Okay. So, a lot of people don't know that mulch is it's actually treated for only 90 days to prevent from termites. Okay. So it does break down over time. A lot of people every year, and people are doing it right now because I just did it to my own house too. You come in with new mulch and you pile it on top of your old mulch. Well, you just created a moisture barrier, and that wood's already broken down, a long time ago. And so we find termites in mulch all the time, and you just created a nice little place for them to start eating. So I would say that would be one of the biggest things. Landscaping timbers, stay away from them. Just use wood or rock, not wood, sorry, stone or rock, or plastic fencing. Any of that kind of stuff would be better than landscape timbers. We find termites in them all the time as well. Obviously the grade of your house, keeping it to where water is flowing away from your house. Termites always need moisture and mud, and so if you have just no moisture against your house, then you most likely won't have termites if it's nice and dry up against your house. So those are some really good
That's a
preventative
really good
things you can
tip.
do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what should a homeowner be concerned about when hiring an inspector?
Yeah. When hiring a certified termite inspector, you should. That's who you should be hiring. You need someone who has a Kansas license to be doing your termite inspections. There's a lot of door-to-door people that sell pest control. They are not certified termite inspectors or pest control people, so they should never be telling you that you have termites. There's a lot of companies out there that'll prey on elderly ladies and people who just don't know much about termites, and they'll tell them that they have an infestation, and then they're selling them termite stations, which I'm not a big fan of to begin with. If you don't want liquid, stations are another source and way to do preventative termite treatments, but they come with a contract. They're super expensive to put in when you can just do a liquid treatment for around $400 to $800, and it's a one-time deal, and you don't really have to worry about them ever again. But I can't say enough that do not trust the person that's doing door-to-door sales that you have termites. Even if they send out their certified inspector, ask for his license, see what kind of license it is. And another thing you could do, get a second opinion. Don't just assume that you have termites. Get another company out there to give you a bid and for treatment, and just also verify that you actually do have termites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially if the first bid seems like outrageously expensive.
Yeah, exactly. If you're getting a bid for $2,200, then that's not good. That's way too much. Termite treatments do not cost that much nowadays. Also, if you are told by this certified inspector that you have mouse droppings in your attic, and they'll show you pictures, and you probably do. Most people do have mouse droppings in their attic, bat droppings. They're asking people to replace their insulation, and then they give you a bid for $10,000 to $20,000 to replace your insulation. Do not be scammed on that. That is just a scam for a pest control company to make money off of you, and it's kind of the new scam. If you hear anything about needing to replace your insulation, you should call an installation guy that does installation, not your pest control company. He should not be doing that for you.
Yeah.
That was a good tip. Thank you.
Yeah.
So before we get into our game, do you have any
Crap, you didn't say anything about a game, did you?
Yeah,
it is? Okay, this is the game.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's the game.
All right.
So before we get into that, do you have any stories from pest control or different things, like somebody call you from falling through their wall, they just lean on it and just go through? Or
No,
I mean,
there's a lot of crazy things you'll see. Gosh, I just had something happen to me last week. You should have prepared me for that question.
I know. I just thought about it. I was like, you probably have so many crazy things that happen.
I have so many crazy stories, and I just feel like I just had a crazy thing happen to me last week, and I'm just drawing blank on it. Maybe we'll come back to that.
Okay,
Yeah, sounds good.
Just stir on it, and then we'll come back after the
yeah.
game, and then
Okay.
I'll put the heat on you.
Okay.
So we are doing the fact or fiction pest inspection edition. So you'll just say if it's true or not.
Okay.
And fact
Don't
or
elaborate
fiction.
on it, or just
You can
okay.
elaborate on it
Okay,
if you
all right.
want. I mean, we aren't going to limit you on that.
Okay. All right.
Unlimited potential here.
Yes.
Okay, I'll go for it.
Okay.
Termite infestations are only a concern for older homes. Fact or fiction?
I'd say fiction.
Perfect. Regular pest inspections can prevent potential termite infestations before they occur.
That is fact.
Good. Awesome. Homeowner insurance typically covers the cost of termite damage repairs.
That is fiction. They do not.
DIY termite treatments are as effective as a professional pest control service.
Majorly fiction.
Right?
Major fiction.
Major. Termite colonies can remain hidden from a home structure for years without any signs of visible damage.
That is a fact.
Nice. Awesome.
So kind of going back to one of these fact or fictions, so with regular inspections, how often would you recommend somebody have their house inspected, or at least
Yeah.
let inspect? I was gonna say looked at, but I guess it is having it
inspection
inspected.
looked, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We always say 2 to 3 years would be more than long enough time. So, I mean, if you're not doing it every 2 to 3 years, then you're going way too long. But I will tell you, if you're using my company, who all my guys are termite certified and able to look for termites, whenever we're spraying your house to just do regular pest control, we're looking for new signs of termites. So you kind of get 2 for 1 on that. And I would recommend, hey, just get sprayed by a company that has certified termite inspectors that are spraying for you. Then you can get 2 for 1 on that and never have to pay the extra cost for an inspection. And they'll be able to see if you do have it. They're spraying in the areas that you typically would have termites. And so they'd be able to get the early detection for you and give you a quote right then and there and stuff and tell you how much it's going to be to pay for it.
So for your spray, it does more than just spiders.
Well, there is different stuff that you want to use for different insects and stuff. But I mean, our basic spray is going to take care of spiders and crickets and your roly-polies.
Crickets too.
Crickets, yeah. Crickets are a food source for spiders. So if you don't have, so that's why you're spraying. So a lot of people think that, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, crickets, I'm fine with crickets. Crickets are fine. But
Until you wake up
but
here
then they're
and
just gnawing in your area.
Yeah,
You're like, where is that freaking cricket?
yeah, and you can't ever find
Find
it
the
either.
cricket, yeah.
They're underneath the washer and dryer.
You go
In
to
the
the
middle
other
of-
side of the room, and then you hear it, and then you go back.
In the middle of the night, it's pitch dark. You're on the floor. You're like, I can't find this thing. Is that coming? Yeah.
Or it's
I've
like a
done
fire
that.
alarm or your smoke detector. It's got the battery in it, so it's beeping. You don't know which one to run. And it always happens at 3 o'clock at night, when that's going on. Yeah. But so a lot of people always say you can't spray for spiders, right? So that's not true. It's what you're doing is spraying to kill their food source, okay? If you spray a spider directly, you will kill them. If they cross your barrier against your baseboards, they will die, okay? So, but you're really just trying to kill their food source. If there's no food, then you're not going to be there to begin with, right? So that's why spraying's crucial for spiders.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I guess that makes sense that you go after the crickets and roly-polies too then.
Yeah.
You're like,
you got to get rid of all food source. Yeah.
You're like,
They won't just eat crickets. They're going to eat everything. So, yeah.
So did you think of your story? Did you have
Heck
any?
no. I was sitting there
Okay,
like,
that's
you
fine.
guys got me with the questions and stuff here. Gosh, I mean, because I have so many good stories, man. I'm just like trying to think of like.
you don't have to just choose one.
I know. I'm just trying to think of just like what would be the best one and which like, and like it's just going flat. I'm just like blanked on it right now. I'm going to think of it as soon as we stop. It's going to be like, oh yeah, gosh, dang it.
You're like, oh yeah, so this is what
Yeah.
happened at that place at that time, and oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of a great story. I just feel like I just had one too, but well, darn. Next
Okay,
time.
just think of
Next
one
time.
that's really good, and it's gonna be.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You can put it in like the comment section after this comes out.
Yeah.
and then you can be
Here
like,
it is. Yeah.
Here's my story that I've been thinking about
Yeah.
for the past couple months.
Right, exactly. That I just couldn't think of right then and there on the spot.
Like, this is the one.
This is it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
This
We
was
really
a lot
appreciate
easier than I
that.
thought it was going to be. You know, I was put too much pressure on myself on this. You know,
did great.
so yeah.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. We had a lot of fun with you.
Yeah, you guys were great too.
Thank you. And thank you to the Lawrence Public Library for letting us use their podcast studio. We love it.
And
Yeah,
again,
it is super cool down here.
this is Lexie Haskin, Flint Hills Mortgage.
Emily Robertson with McGrew Real Estate.
David Roubison with Laser Pest Management.
Awesome.
Or Robertson.
Or
Sorry, we were talking about that before the episode. I just had to throw it in, just one thing.
Yeah.
No, but it is Roubison.
Yeah, Roubison, Robertson, Robertson.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Well,
signing
thank you
off.
for listening.
Thanks for joining us on Lawrence Real and Local Keeping It Real podcast. We appreciate our guests taking the time to join us. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review if you've enjoyed today's episode.
For more information, please visit us on the web, www.lawrencerealtor.com. And remember, whether you're buying, selling, or simply dreaming of your future home, we're here to help. Until next time, keep it real.
And happy house hunting.